Hello, my name is Eric, and today I'm going to be talking to you, the general public, about my used to be World of Warcraft addiction. Yes, unfortunately, as beautiful as I am, you would never guess that I played, WoW, but I did, and it consumed about a year and a half of my life. In the end, I had to be banned to, quit playing and well, we'll get to that later. But right now, in my little first video I'm gonna put out, I'm gonna talk about the beginnings. I can remember back then, back about 2 years ago when I started out. I got World of Warcraft for Christmas. I got my little time card and everything, and I wanted to start it right away. So what I did, I put that first disc in my computer and started downloading, and 15 hours later, I got started. So, after I got started, there's so many classes, Horde or Alliance, which way do I go? I'm not sure. But my buddy, he's like, hey, I already got a level 50 Warlock, Horde, so go ahead and join it. So, I decided to join as a undead priest on the realm Dragon Mall. If you've ever heard of it, let me know, because I'll hit you up, So my name was Death to You All. I don't know, it was pretty retarded me being a priest, Death to You All. I didn't really get that, but anyways, I started out in the beautiful city of Death Canal. Yeah, right. Doing all the noob quests, killing little level 1 ghosts and wolves and doing all my quests and getting all my fancy new armor. I thought a green item was just the most amazing thing, for a while until I learned better. And then after that, I moved on to Tristful Glades, and, any undead character knows what that place is. You spend about 5 levels there doing quests and whatnot. And so then I moved to the beautiful city of Orgrimmar and the Barrens. First off, Orgrimmar is where I did my first instance, which is Ragefire Chasm. And let me tell you what, that was great. Of course, I was a priest, and I noticed everybody typing in the city chat looking for priests, RFC. And I never knew what that meant until later, but I was like, hey, I'm a priest, I'll go along. So I go along with this group, and, they seem pretty skillful. We got a warrior, we got a hunter, a warlock, me, the priest, and some other random character, probably a shaman or something. God, those are so gay. Anyways, never be a shaman, okay? They're fags and they're pointless. But, anyways, we're running through, the instance, and, they're telling me to heal. I don't want to do that. I want to sit back and heal the entire way. But I did that for a little while, and then I figured, hey, I got my little mace here, my little level 2 mace. I'm gonna run in. I'm gonna tank. I'm gonna become the warrior. So I run in, gather about 20 of the little beasts, and we all die. They blame me for some reason. I'm like, hey, I didn't know any better. So that first party never worked out, and then I kind of, figured out, hey, I can't be doing that. I've got to stay back and heal. So I decide to spec holy, and I have these amazing heals and everything, and everybody wants me for their party. So I move on to the Barrens, where I quest from around level 15 to level 30, and the Barrens, well, they're amazing. And any of you Horde that have spent your life, half your gaming life in the Barrens, you know about the chat. The chat in the Barrens can be funny, it can be sad. They tell dead baby jokes all the time, and the new thing is Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is a big deal in the Barrens. I'm dead serious. I don't know if it's still like that today, but I walk through the Barrens, hey, Chuck Norris did this, Chuck Norris blah blah blah, all these gay jokes. Get over yourselves, people. I mean, it's not that amazing. I hate Chuck Norris. So anyways, I spent my time questing in the Barrens, for a little while, and having to put up with his Chuck Norris comments every freaking day, and I finally made it out. Also, the Wailing Caverns is in the middle of the Barrens. It's a great instance for levels 20 through 30. I think that's what it is now. And, I went through there one time with a group, and, I'm sitting there healing, and I don't know too much about items yet, so this blue sword comes up. I forget what it is. It was pretty good, though, for our level. And, we go to roll for it, and what did I do? I clicked need, and of course I want it, and the warrior of our group is like, hey man, you're a priest, you can't use swords. I was like, man, whatever, I'm gonna go to the weapon master and Thunder Bluff, right after this instance. I'm gonna use this freaking sword. So they boot me out of the party. This was on like the second boss, so yeah, I make my way over to Thunder Bluff, da da da, and turns out I can only use staves and wands. So my sword wielding dreams were shattered that day. But I moved on. Then I returned back to Tristful Glades, where I started leveling in the Scarlet Temple. But that's another day. I will talk about that on my next video, so you'll just have to wait and see. See you guys later.